Alrighty, folks, we got an article here out of Breitbart.com, which I find overall to be a fairly ideal site. I'm trying to bring the best news forth, but it's just too much quantity to cover. But we got Joe Biden here. Joe Biden, we need to deal with Second Amendment rationally, aka just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Shall not be infringed. People are not doing anything wrong, so it should not be dealt with. Period. During his Tuesday speech to Nevada Democrats, Joe Biden acknowledged that there is a Second Amendment, but said we need to deal with it rationally. Oh. Democrats are revealing who they really are. They're not really afraid to say anything they're thinking anymore. Kind of scary, but still, it makes me wonder what they aren't saying that they are afraid to say. I know that kind of sounded contrary, but you can kind of think of it both ways. Biden did not provide any clues of how to deal with it in his speech. Oh, just keep it hidden until he gets in power. Yeah. How does he want to deal with it, huh? Well, we know how Bernie does, because I think he said he wanted it overnight taken away. Middle of the night. But he highlighted the October 1, 2017 Las Vegas shooting and December 14, 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary shooting. Joe Biden, we need to talk. We need to talk. Let's talk these things through. Should we hold the individual personally accountable and make a public example out of, which we did away with like 100 years ago, so that folks, learn and know not to do that, or this is the result. So we're not going to even think to do this or this or this. So hold them personally accountable, make a public example out of them, or lock them up forever, or 10, 20 years, whatever, and force everyone to pay for them welfare, and take what they did, weaponize it for an agenda to punish everyone who didn't do anything wrong, which I call socialistic morality. There's probably a better term for it, but that's just what I call it. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the best argument with creating a parallel of that is because there are rapes, and because there's a rapes, because of that, let's chop every guy's gear off. It's absolutely hilarious, but it really drives home the point. It drives home the point. We need to deal with it rationally. Ay. Could you fathom a foreign view of America if Americans were disarmed? How would foreign nations feel about Americans disarmed? Would they be more or less inclined to invade? Biden said the fact is it's hard to not think about October 1, that day, all the lives that were lost. Joe Biden, people's liberty and rights and freedoms, It's the price of liberty. This stuff, the bad events that happen. It's the price of our freedoms, rights, and liberties. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. It's always gonna happen. It's always gonna be the bad actors. So instead of punishing everyone, we should look into a proper form of prevention. There probably should be a lot more communication going down about how different folks are doing. All the lives that were lost, all the families that were forever changed, all created by senseless gun violence. The Democrats believe in murdering babies, pre-birth, post-birth now. Okay, so how about all those lives lost and those families changed forever? Senseless murdering of babies. How about that violence? How about that violence? Crushing their skulls, poisoning them, ripping them limb from limb, and then, as far as I'm aware, selling the bits? Kind of hypocrisy there. You talked about moments you never forget and said, I'll never forget the meeting I had with the parents of the 20 school kids that were killed and the teachers that were killed up in Sandy Hook, and it goes on and on and on. He added, and I just want to say to you, there's a Second Amendment, but there's a rational way to deal with the Second Amendment. Ooh. Biden said, I just want to let you know that we can deal with it rationally. Yeah, by leaving it alone. Leaving it the heck alone. Punish the individual who's personally responsible. Make them accountable for their actions, rather than punish everyone who didn't do anything wrong. If you punish everyone for the wrongdoings of one, then that's how terrorism wins. Terrorism wins if you take that route. So I don't think they have a leg to stand on with this stuff. So, and I don't think people are going to be too happy about this kind of talk or these kind of stances. Disarmament leads to enslavement and genocide. What happened to the Jews? If blacks were armed during the non-voluntary slavery part, when it got to that part, if they were armed, they would have been able to fight back. And females need to be armed to be equal with predatory men, either sexually or wanting to be thieves of them. And why not arm the places that become targets so that they can fight back? And people would be less inclined to target them in the first place. I hear a lot of these places that get attacked are where there's specifically going to be no resistance, nobody armed to defend themselves. So the Second Amendment is the solution to the Second Amendment going wrong. So in the sense of people misusing it. So it itself is the solution. People to be armed and to be able to protect bad actors, or deal with bad actors and protect people who aren't doing the wrongs, so who are being targeted. So the Second Amendment is the solution. It's not the problem. It's the solution. It was the solution against the British. It wasn't the problem. Ha. Good grief. All right. This is enough for now. It's getting dark. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. And please subscribe so that the average Joe can become the media. And Joe, let's deal with this rationally. Let's talk. Let's talk it through. Let's talk it through. I don't hate you. Don't hate any political position person. I don't hate anyone. I'm not try to do any hate speech or anything like that. We're just talking things through. Let's just talk it through. So, I don't hate no celebrity or anything like that. No politician, celebrity, anything like that. We're just talking things through. Let's talk it through. So, I don't think they are on a good position. They're not offering anything for 2020. So, in my view, they've destroyed their own party. Republicans as well. So, that's that. I'll see you up ahead. Thanks for watching. As always, take her cool.